afraid you might catch cold." "Mr. Vickers, you aren't married, are you?" "Why, no. It happens that I'm not." "Most everyone is married," said Jane. "Most everyone I know. Why aren't you married, Mr. Vickers?"
"Why, I don't rightly know. Never found a girl, I guess."
"There are lots of girls."
"There was a girl," said Vickers. "A long time ago there was a girl." It had been years since he had remembered sharply. He had forced the years to obscure the memory, to soften it and hide it away so that he did not think of it, and that if he did think of it, to make it so far away and hazy that he could quit thinking of it. But here it was again. There had been a girl, and an enchanted valley they had walked in. A springtime valley, he remembered, with the pink of wild crabapple blossoms flaming on the hills, and the song of bluebird and of lark soaring in the sky. And there had been a wild spring breeze that ruffled the water and blew along the grass, so that the meadow seemed to flow and become a lake with whitecaps rolling on it. They had walked in the valley, and there was no doubt that it was enchanted, for when he had gone back again the valley wasn't there. Or at least not the same valley. It had been, he remembered, a very different valley. He had walked there 20 years ago, and through all of the 20 years he had hidden it away, back in the attic of his mind. Yet here it was again, as fresh and shining as if it had been only yesterday.
"Mr. Vickers," said Jane, "I think your toast is burning."
Chapter 2. After Jane had gone and he had washed the dishes, he remembered that he had intended for a week or more to phone Joe about the mice. "I got mice," Vickers told him.
"You got what?"
"Mice," said Vickers. "Little animals. They run around the place."
"Now that's funny," said Joe. "A well-built place like yours, it shouldn't have no mice. You want me to come over and get rid of 'em?"
"I guess you'll have to. I tried traps, but these mice don't go for traps. Got a cat a while back, and the cat left. Only stayed a day or two."
"Now that's a funny thing. Cats like places where they can catch a mouse."
"This cat was crazy," said Vickers. "Acted like it was spooked. Walked around on tiptoe."
"Cats is funny animals," Joe confided.
"I'm going down to the city today. Figure you could do it while I'm gone?"
"Sure thing," said Joe. "The exterminating business is kind of slack right now. I'll come over 10 o'clock or so."
"I'll leave the front door unlocked," said Vickers. He hung up the phone and got the paper off the stoop. At his desk, he laid down the paper and picked up the sheaf of manuscript, holding it in his hand, feeling the thickness of it and the weight of it, as if by its thickness and its weight he might reassure himself that what it held was good, that it was not a labor wasted, that it said the many things he wished them to say, and said them well enough that other men and women might read the words and know the naked thought that lay behind the coldness of the print. He should not waste the day, he told himself. He should stay here and work. He should not go traipsing off to meet this man his agent wanted him to meet. But Anne had been insistent, and had said that it was important, and even when he had told her about the car being in the garage for repairs, she still had insisted that he come. That story about the car had been untrue, of course, for he knew even as he told her that Eb would have it ready for him to make the trip. He looked at his watch and saw he had no more than half an hour until Eb's garage would open, and half an hour was not worth his while to spend in writing. He picked up the paper and went out on the porch to read the morning's news. He thought about little Jane and what a sweet child she was, and how she'd praised his cooking and had chattered on and on. "You aren't married," Jane had said. "Why aren't you married, Mr. Vickers?" And he had said, "Once there was a girl. I remember now, once there was a girl." Her name had been Kathleen Preston, and she had lived in a big brick house that sat up on a hill, a many-columned house with a wide porch and fan lights above the doors. An old house that had been built in the first flush of pioneer optimism when the country had been new, and the house had stood when the land had failed and ran away in ditches and left the hillside scarred with